We all have personal heroes, and the Dalai Lama is one of mine. I think he's an absolutely amazing man. Now, one of the things that I find incredible about him is that he's so kind, he's so compassionate, and so open. But when I've heard him tell his story in the past, he's mentioned that he's actually come from a life of great hardship. He had to flee Tibet many years ago. At that time, he lost his entire country. He lost many of his country people. And afterward, he had to lead the refugees in the world and government in exile. And he had many challenges that came up around that. Now, I've heard him mention many times that whatever love, kindness, and compassion he possesses came about because of those experiences, not despite those experiences. And I find that to be incredibly motivating because I think we all have lots of different challenges in life, and it's nice to know that you can maintain an open heart nevertheless. Now, when thinking about how he trained to become like that, I reflect on some of the things I learned from my teacher, Lama Migmar Tsetem. He's the Harvard University Buddhist chaplain, and he studied under the tutor of His Holiness the Dalai Lama as well. Now, Lama Migmar taught me that the Dalai Lama and all the other monks in the tradition have very specific exercises that they use in challenging times to create an open heart. So today, I thought that I would pass on some of the things that I learned from my teacher to you so that you can use the practices for similar benefit. So today we're going to be doing an exercise and a meditation on human compassion. In this context, compassion is the wish that other people, and you yourself included, could overcome personal suffering. So if you will, just sit in a meditative posture with right hand on top of left and the tips of your thumbs touching. And for the next few moments, close your eyes and redirect your focus to your normal breath. And at first, just let your breath be natural. When your mind wanders elsewhere, notice and redirect. Now bring to mind someone in your life who's suffering in some way, someone who could use some positive energy and maybe some healing. And wherever they are, just visualize that person in your mind's eye. Connect to them mentally. And from this point on, every time you exhale, send that person all of your love and all of your compassion. Let those energies be carried by your breath. As your breath streams from your body to theirs, wherever they are in the world, when your breath touches them, imagine them receiving happiness and healing, all their obstacles being cleared. And repeat that over and over every time you exhale. Send your love, send all of your compassion every time you breathe out. As that energy touches that person, imagine all their obstacles being cleared. Imagine them receiving happiness and imagine them receiving healing. The next object might be a little more challenging. Bring to mind someone in your life who annoys you a little bit. Somebody who just pushes your buttons. Visualize that person wherever they are in the world. Just see them in your mind's eye and connect to them mentally. Now, every human life has suffering. In this meditation, you're going to visualize relieving that person of some of theirs. Now, the exercise is identical. Every time you exhale, send all of your love and all of your compassion carried by your breath. As your breath touches them in your imagination, imagine them receiving happiness. Imagine them receiving healing and all of their worldly obstacles being cleared. Send your love and your compassion every time you exhale. And with it, healing, happiness, and the clearing of obstacles. The third object is a person or a group of people. A stranger, somebody that you really don't know. Now, if somebody immediately comes to mind, you can certainly practice for them. Though if there have been victims of a natural disaster in your area, or some other group of people who are experiencing hardship, you can also practice for them. So bring to mind a stranger or a group of strangers. And do the same practice once more. Send your love and your compassion every time you exhale. As your breath streams to them, imagine all their obstacles being cleared. Imagine them receiving happiness, and imagine them receiving healing. And the final object is a contemplation on limitless compassion. For the next few moments, bring to mind every living being on the surface of the earth that's aware of its own existence, all sentient beings. So, humans of all nationalities spread across the surface of the earth. Think also of all the different members of the animal kingdoms, birds of the sky, the creatures that inhabit the seas, and all the insects and reptiles as well. Billions of life forms everywhere. And once more, send all of your compassion out across the surface of the earth. Send it in really huge exhales that you pulse out. Every time your breath floods around the world, imagine every living being touched. Imagine all their obstacles being cleared. And imagine them receiving happiness and healing. For the next few moments, return to normal breath. So many of the choiceless situations that we experience in life are very challenging. In those moments, it's quite natural to have destructive emotions arise, to be filled with denial and anger and many other such emotions. In those moments, you have a choice. If you take a little bit of time to step out, you can open your heart by using the practice that we just encountered. You can actually use the pain and suffering that you're experiencing in that particular moment to cultivate more connection to others and more compassion. But I think it's something that has to be practiced over and over again. So if you had any resonance whatsoever, I hope you do that practice as much as possible, and especially when you're challenged. Now that remains up to you, but if you will, join your hands together in a prayer at your chest. And if you wish, repeat after me. May all sentient beings everywhere experience peace.